Men, business and markets analyst and NewsMax contributor Seth Denson, and America's accounting professor, Montclair State University, Dan Geltrude. Gentlemen, welcome back. All right, let's get into the markets. Seth, big news yesterday. Johnson & Johnson planning to split into two companies, fracturing off its $15 billion year arm that sells Band-Aids, Tylenol baby powder, ultimately creating two publicly created companies. Seth, you told us that it was a good idea for GE to split. Was this one a good idea as well?
You know, it's too soon to tell. I need to dig into this one a little bit more, and I'll tell you why. There's two things at foot here. Certainly, a lot of conspiracy theorists are already saying, well, is there going to be something wrong with their vaccine, and are they isolating the liability? But here's the other thing. On the consumer side of things, which will be a split company, they already have a lawsuit against their baby powder, so they could be doing that. They haven't seen quite the gains that their counterpart Pfizer has seen, which also has a consumer goods division. So I'm not really sure why the need for this split, but we'll just have to wait and see if it's a good one. I don't know that I'm buying in.
Dan, your thoughts?
Well, I think litigation aside, if they're going to be breaking the companies out in order to allocate resources to be able to really focus in on having a stronger end product for those that are using the products, I think it's a good move. And let's face it, that's exactly why GE made the move. I think there's a lot of skepticism here because of the vaccines. And could something be wrong? Is there litigation pending? As Seth mentioned, there already is. But that aside, I think it's a good thing.
All right, well, we'll see.
This is, just real quick, Allison, this is different than GE, though, because their stock had actually done well over the last number of years, and GE has been on a tanking dive for a number of years. So this one will be a little bit different.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see what happens. All right, so Seth, the number of new unemployment claims falling to yet another COVID-era low. The Labor Department reporting 267,000 new filings last week, but a new survey by PayScale shows as many as 22 million U.S. workers are considered underemployed, meaning they have a job that doesn't utilize their education experience or training, or just working part-time. Seth, how do you think this skew the numbers? This is interesting.
Well, yeah, it does skew the numbers, and you always got to look at the unemployment numbers as a lagging indicator of what's really going on in the market, and look in conjunction with a number of other indicators. Because to your point, people can take a job, so they're not collecting unemployment, but maybe it's not as good of a paying job. This is a weird situation we're in too, because of what's going on in the what we'll call the labor workforce market, where we're down. So we still have a lot of cousin Eddies out there waiting their 3 years to get their management position. So maybe that's part of the problem here.
I love that, Dan. Dan, look, you're in the college world. What do you think?
What I see is that college graduates right now are in a great position. I mean, I would actually even say the tail is wagging the dog to some extent, because so many employers out there are desperate for workers. I mean, I really don't care what all of these statistics say. What I see with my own eyes is there is no one out there saying, as far as labor goes, we're good. Plenty of people. Maybe we're even overstaffed. No, that's not the case. Everyone is looking for people. So forget about what those statistics say. Just look around. It's a desperate situation for employers to find workers.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so the world's richest man, he's now even richer. Elon Musk selling about $5 billion in Tesla shares this week, exercising stock options included in his compensation package. Musk had polled people on Twitter about whether he should sell 10% of his stock holdings in Tesla, saying he would abide by that vote. About 58% of those who responded said yes, sell. Seth, should people like Musk, who be asking people, a lot of them have no idea about any of this, of what to do with his own assets? Isn't that, I mean, it's bizarre.
You know, and you got another thing to think about here, and that could be market manipulation. Tesla's stock was down 10% this week. That means billions in lost market cap for investors. And so here we are, Elon Musk exercising some options here. Now, we could argue that he lost some money too in that, but still, for someone to go out on Twitter, make this claim, who actually can't control the market. Remember, this is in the S&P, meaning if you're invested in the S&P, you're invested in Tesla. And if that's you should be really unhappy with Mr. Musk this week.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Dan, the Justice Department now suing Uber, charging wait time fees to passengers with physical disabilities. So the suit alleges the company violated the Americans with Disabilities Act for charging certain people extra for needing more time to get in their cars. An Uber spokesperson calling the lawsuit surprising and disappointing. How do you see this playing out?
Well, this is a tough one because remember, for Uber, for that company, time is money. So it's all about how quickly they can do their pickups and make their drop-offs. So if you have a situation where you have people that require additional attention, which takes time, is the federal government then saying, well, Uber has to eat that time? So I really see both sides. At the same time, if someone who needs additional help in order to get in and out of a vehicle, do we say, oh, you have to pay more? I really don't see, a clear picture here. But my guess is that the courts will ultimately decide with the government, because if someone has a disability, you got to be able to make the changes accordingly.
Absolutely. All right, Seth, they say if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. And now it's easier to pay the rent. For the first time ever, no New York City zip code made the top 100 list of most expensive neighborhoods. So lots of people have moved out of these big cities, including New York. Do you think that the big cities can ever recover from COVID?
Well, I think they can, but they need new policies. And it's less about the real estate, in my opinion, and more about the government infrastructure and taxes. Because even if you can afford to pay the rent, you can't afford to actually live there. Listen, I love New York, Allison. We've had dinner there before with families, and it's just a fantastic place. I want to go there. But my hope is that with the new leadership that's coming in, perhaps they can revitalize the city. It's one of the greatest places in the world, but it's just too doggone expensive to live there.
Yeah, absolutely. Taxes, crime, lots of stuff going on in these big cities. All right, well, thank you so much, Seth Denson, Dan Geltrude. Have a great weekend. Dan, good luck at your game.
Thank you, Allie.
Thank you.
Go Penn State.
Thanks.
All right, stay with us. Former candidate for New York City.